What's up YouTube? So in today's video I'm going to be unboxing a mirror dash cam. It comes with like a rear view camera, and the dash camera has a camera in it as well. I'm also going to show you guys how to install this as well, just because I've been getting a lot of emails on how to make a video on how to install one of these things. So I'm bringing you guys the video on how to install this thing as well, so stay tuned. So the one that I purchased this thing off Amazon. I'm going to leave a link down low just in case if you guys want to check this thing out. It's supposed to be a 1080p rear camera and front facing camera. This thing right here, when I took it out the box, the mirror looks kind of a little blue, so that's the first thing I didn't like about it. But we're going to check it out and see how it works out for us. Like I said, it comes with a 1080p front facing camera, and the rear facing camera should be 1080p as well. This one that I purchased does not come with an SD card, so you do need to purchase a class 10 32 gig I believe is the max you can use on this thing here. So make sure you guys purchase an SD card for this thing. So I did notice on Amazon they do make some dash cam mirrors that would replace your existing dash mirror. The one that I purchased, it comes with like these little they look like rubber clips, and you're gonna actually just hook on to your existing mirror. So installing this thing is really gonna be the same basics. It's gonna be all the same wiring. So if you got any one of the mirror dash cams, you can use this to install any one of your cameras. So as you can see, this is the actual rear view camera. This thing it gives you maybe like 20 or 30 feet worth of wiring, so you're gonna need most of that wire, especially if you don't want any wire exposed. You're gonna want to hide all that wiring. Also, like I said, it does come with the cigarette lighter charger. Like I said, you don't have to use this, but if you don't want to have to recut and cut into your existing dash mirror, you're going to want to use that cigarette lighter. So these are the little clips that I was talking about that you're going to wrap around your existing actual dash mirror. So those are the clips that we're going to be using. Like I said, if you do have the one that replaces your whole dash mirror, it's a little kind of hard to do it, but if you guys can't get it, let me know and I'll show you guys how to release that dash mirror. So before we get started, you're going to need a couple tools. You're going to need yourself maybe a power drill. Also, you're going to need some wire cutters, some terminal connectors, some butt connectors, whatever you want to go with. Some wire cutters and just simple stuff like that. You shouldn't need much. Alright, before we get started, first thing you want to do is remove the negative terminal to your actual battery. This is just going to prevent you from causing a short inside your vehicle when installing this kit. Anytime you're doing an install like this, always remove the negative terminal. So before we mount this camera, first thing I like to do is figure out a location where I'm going to actually put this camera. Do not screw this thing in until you actually get everything hooked up. So what you want to do at this moment, like I'm doing here, is I'm just going to use some duct tape or some masking tape just to hold this thing in place until I figure out exactly where I want this thing hooked in. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a Sharpie and we're gonna mark where we're gonna be mounting this thing up. Try not to cover your license plate light. I've seen a lot of people putting their rear dash cam right on their actual license plate light. That just blocks the view of your license plate, and I've seen a lot of people getting in trouble for blocking that light. Police can't read your license plates when they get behind you at nighttime. So next, after that, what you're going to do is you're going to try to feed this wire right underneath your license plate lights. There's going to be a little slot where you can reach your hand between the bumper and the light and the bottom of your license plate light. You should be able to reach your hand in and pull that cable right up inside the license plate light. You want to do this the right way, because if you end up doing it the wrong way, what's going to end up happening is you're going to either splice the cable, or you're going to, when you close your trunk, you're going to end up damaging the cable. So make sure you guys install this right. If you're going to do a quick install, it's not even worth installing this, because you're going to end up messing up the rear camera. Next, what I did here in this video, I took a 1/4-inch drill bit and I cut a small hole out right there in the middle where this so I can feed this actual wire right through the actual metal part instead of going over the gasket. Makes it way easier, and you can slip this right back on and it makes it look really nice. Plus it hides all the wires, like I said, so it makes everything fits in perfect and you don't see any wires. That's really the idea here, is to hide all your wires so you won't see anything when putting this thing together. So make sure you guys cut out that little 1/4 inch hole. Go down to your local Ace or hardware store and grab a 1/4 inch metal drill bit. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna hook our red wire up to our rear view or reverse light in our tail light. So what you're gonna do, I'm installing this in a Dodge Charger. I don't know how complicated it's gonna be to get to your tail light inside your vehicle, but I'm installing this inside my Dodge Charger. So if you're installing this inside your Dodge Charger, this is the exact way to get this thing installed. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take off the mat. There's gonna be like one of these little locking nuts on your mat. You're gonna take that one off. In my Dodge Charger, there's actually 3. So as you can see in this clip, I'm just unscrewing all these locking nuts or whatever you want to call them. And this is what mounts your actual tail light to the actual car. So if you take these 3 off, this is going to expose your tail light, and your tail light should come right off. Like I said, I don't know how your model is, but this is how my Dodge Charger is, and they made it a little easier for us to get to the actual tail light or to remove the tail light. So as you can see, I'm removing the tail light. There's going to be a harness here right behind this tail light, so make sure you don't try to just yank the tail light out. Be really gentle with it. As you can see, this is the harness that connects the wiring to the actual tail light. Make sure you be really gentle on taking this out, because if you break it, it is super expensive to replace this. So alright, so next we're going to try to locate our reverse light. Usually is at the bottom of most vehicles. What you can do is turn over your tail light and look for the white reverse light. It should be you should be able to see it inside your tail light, and whatever that wire leads to, that's going to be your tail light. So to get this thing out, you're either going to twist to the left or right. They don't make it that hard, just because they make it easy. So if you ever have to change out the actual tail light, it wouldn't be really much of a hassle to change out. So next, what you're gonna do is, what I'm gonna do is, here as you can see in this clip, is I'm hooking my dash cam up to the actual 20 foot of wiring, and we're gonna try to hide this cable. And then they give you this red wire that's exposed. That red wire that is exposed, that's the red wire you're gonna be using to hook up to your reverse light in your tail light. So you're gonna feed that actual red wire through your where you took the tail light out, right through where the harness is. Now a lot of people are gonna get confused in this next part. Now they give you a red wire. In most cases, your wire is either gonna be red or it's gonna be white. The white, if yours is red and white, you're gonna see that the white is going to always be positive, black is always going to be negative. So they're always going to either give you some type of weird coloring, but just know black is always negative. So whatever the other color you have is going to be the positive leading wire. So what you're going to do is snip that wire. Like I said, I got some electrical cutters, and you're just going to use this wire. It's probably 16 gauge. You're just going to expose the 16 gauge wiring, and you're going to connect it to that red wire. You can use electrical tape. I'm going to use terminal connectors, just because I want to make sure that I keep all this stuff waterproof, and I want to make sure this stuff, the wiring doesn't come off. So if you got terminal connectors, use terminal connectors or wire connectors. Only downside about using wire connectors, they can be a little bunky. So when putting this back together, it might not put back together the way you like it if you're using wire connectors. So I recommend using terminal connectors, just because it makes everything more easier, and it makes everything stay on correct. So as you can see in this clip, like I said, I'm just exposing some of the wiring. Make sure you guys please do not cut too much wire off, because if you cut this thing too short, and you cut too much wire off this tail light, you will not have enough wiring to get this thing connected, and you will end up having to buy a whole new tail light harnessing kit. So make sure you guys just cut just enough where you can just connect this thing, just so you won't cut off too much. I've seen guys cut off too much wiring and mess up the whole deal, and then their reverse lights isn't working because they cut too much of the wire off. So as you can see, that's the terminal connectors. After you hook this thing up, you're just gonna place your rear view or reverse light back inside the socket kit. Make sure you screw it back in correct. Like I said, be really gentle with this when putting it back on. The harnesses can be ripped out really easy, so make sure you guys put this back on really gentle. Alright, so now we got the tail light back on. Now all you have to do now is just put like I said, put the locking nuts back on, or whatever you want to call them, locking bolts. Put those back on just to make sure you lock your tail light back in place, so your tail light is not falling off as you're driving down the road. So make sure, what I like to do is I grab a plastic bag and I put all my my accessories or all my bolts inside a plastic bag, just so I won't lose anything, because I see a lot of people losing their parts just because they're rushing and they don't know what parts go to what. So make sure you guys label everything. Alright, so next is the fun part. So now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to feed this wire throughout the whole car. What I like to do is I'm going to hide all this wiring. If you don't want to hide your wiring and you're going to take a shortcut, the next couple minutes here you might well just go ahead and skip. But if you're going to do it the right way, I'm going to actually show you guys how to hide all your wiring, so no wires exposed and you're not tripping over wiring, or you're not cutting the wire or anything like that. Like I said, I'm installing this inside a Dodge Charger, but most cars configuration is almost the same, just different layouts and stuff like that. What you're gonna do if your back seats come down is you're gonna try to fish the wire underneath your back seats, and you're just gonna pull that wire through your back seats. If your back seats doesn't come out or doesn't have a release button for some odd reason, you can pull those back seats out. What you have to do is pull the bottom seat out first, and then the top should be there should be some type of locking harness to remove the back seat. Next, as you can see in this video, I'm just going to remove the side panel of the back seat, and this is just going to give me a little bit more room so I can hide some of these wiring. You might not have to take this portion off, but like I said, in my Dodge Charger I have to take this portion off just to get this thing hooked up correct. Next, as you can see in this clip, I'm just using my drill and I'm just taking off the side door panels. Mine is screw in, yours probably gonna be screw in as well, so use your drill and just take off these side door panels. Like I said, you might not have to do this. You might can just fish the wire right underneath the seat and be able to tuck most of your wire in, but I like to do mine the right way just so I'm not seeing any wiring. Also, you don't want to be breaking any paneling, so make sure if there's any screws, unscrew the screws first so you won't be breaking none of your panels. Also, if you got like a panel remove tool, use that tool as well, so like I said, you won't be cracking anything. As you can see in this clip, I'm just removing the panel and I'm just gonna hide that wire right underneath this panel, just so we won't be leaving no wire exposed. Alright, so for the next couple minutes or so, I'm just gonna let you guys watch on how to hide this wire. I'm not gonna do a voiceover on this next couple parts. Alright, so hopefully you guys got all that wire hidden. Hopefully you guys didn't leave any wires exposed, so you won't be tripping or cutting the wires as you're getting in and out the car. Last thing you want to do now is install or put up your dash mirror. Like I said, the one I'm going with is going to be the one that clips over your existing mirror. If you do have the one that replaces your entire mirror, if you having trouble installing that deal, shoot me a comment or leave me an email, and I'll get back to you, or I'll make a video on how to remove your existing mirror. That's if you do have the one that replaces your whole mirror. So to put these things on, like I said, they look like little rubber band clips. You're just gonna loop them right over the existing mirror, and they tie right into your existing mirror, and they supposed to hook on. Make sure you guys be a little gentle with these little rubber band clips. I already broke one. Luckily they give you 3 inside the pack, so make sure you be a little gentle when putting these things on. Now after you get that hooked on, just plug it in your cigarette lighter and you guys should be all set. Last thing you want to do now is you want to go back where you go back to your rear view camera, and now you want to just adjust this thing and then screw in your actual bolts, and then you should be all set. Overall, I give this camera a 3 out of a 5. Like I said, the only downside I didn't like about this camera is it's the blue tint on the actual mirror. That's the only downside that I didn't like about the mirror. But overall, I like this mirror dash cam. I'm actually gonna return the model that I got and go with a better model. But as you can see in this video, this is the video quality. It's not quite 1080p, but good enough, you know. It does record front facing and rear facing at the same time, so that thing is always good, especially if you're driving and you know something happened where you get in an accident or anything like that. You have front facing recording. So I do recommend going with one of these things. If you do have an old played out mirror, go with one of these things. This thing is amazing. So if this video was helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm always uploading videos. Also, if you guys have any ideas on or want me to make a how-to video, leave me a comment down in the comment section. I will get back to you and I will upload that video for you. Thank you guys for watching. You guys enjoy your day.